So jazzed to be here. No, this is like my favorite thing. Like, I've been performing for as long as I can remember. Like, I literally did my first play when I was 2 years old. Yeah, like I started acting before I had like locked in a personality. Right? Like, I'm convinced in another timeline I was like supposed to be shy. Right, I'm what you get when you combine a shy kid with just a lifetime of musical theater. It's just jazz hands and apologies. That is a show. That's what it is right there. And it's like, I've lived so, like, life is so big on stage, you know? And it's changed my life in so many ways. Like, I had my first kiss on stage. And, yeah, I had sex on stage. I got married on stage. Yeah, and like, if I weren't an actor, my parents only would have been at one of those. It is so weird, though, doing acting and doing stand-up, because the worlds are so different. Like, I know they seem kind of like the same world because it's just someone on stage who clearly didn't get enough attention as a kid. But they really are, like, they're very disparate. Like, acting is all about being, like, big and performing and knowing that "Honey, I Ate the Divorce Papers" is not an acceptable monologue. Meanwhile, like, stand-up is just, like, I'm literally telling you, it's just people in a basement, like, dating's weird. My dick doesn't work. But somehow I have a girlfriend. I don't mean to bash on the other stand-up comedians. I love stand-up so much. Like, again, I love this entirely. Favorite place to be. I'm also just a very optimistic person. But I do think women in general are more optimistic than men, just because historically we had to be. Right? Because if we couldn't get cool with what was going on, they lobotomized us. It's like, why'd they sever Sheila's frontal lobe? It's like, oh, you didn't hear? She was being a bummer, wanted to vote. And I really do believe you can find good news anywhere, though. Like, fun fact, catcalling rates in New York have actually gone down. Oh, yeah. So I've been told. Yeah, I don't really get catcalled. I get more constructive criticism. One time I was waiting for a train and I put up my hair and a homeless man yelled at me, "Much better!" I know, but I love people, but I am just a little weary of strangers approaching me. Like, because I will plunge into any situation. A friend of mine actually said to me, "Carly, you're the girl that falls into a trash can in the first 5 minutes of the movie as a voiceover says, you're probably wondering how I got here." And the thing is, like, I'll talk to anyone, but I have gotten a little weary of strangers approaching me because I have been approached by the same cult 4 times. And I will say this most recent time they came up to me, I walked away immediately, which I think shows growth. Because the last 3 times, I heard them out. Okay, because if priority 2 is like, do not get inducted into a cult, priority 1 is still, don't be rude. So they're giving their whole speech, they're like, you should come to our meeting tonight for Church of God the Mother. I'm like, I can't, I'm running late for my freedom. And I gotta say, like, they are so good at their jobs. Like, they make it impossible to walk away because it's always like 2 women around my age who come up and they're like, "Oh, so sorry to bother you," which is how I greet people. And then they're just so, like, friendly and charismatic and nice. Like, do you know how hard it is to walk away from a cult when you know you'd fit in perfectly? I mean, a lot of, like, roast-based friendships with, like, the friends I have now, which is good, right? Like, they'll come over and we'll say, like, jokingly mean things. I'm like, "Ugh, who invited you?" And they're like, "Ugh, if you can't get over your obsession with control, how will you ever find love?" a friend of mine asked me recently, he was like, Carly, do women really play dumb to get men to be more attracted to them? I was like, I don't know. As I've said, I am an actor, but I've been getting casting calls for all these really depressing shows recently, and I'm not sure I want to do them because they just seem so like emotionally heavy. Like I got a casting call the other day for a role titled Rape Victim. Like that is just such an oxymoronic thing to consent to. I'm so sorry. A lot of people don't like that joke because they don't know what oxymoronic means. Which is hard. Now, I've always stood out because I am a ginger, which is interesting, because we make up less than 2% of the global population. Do you know how weird it is to be part of an endangered species no one cares about saving? But the people don't care about saving us, they're just surprised we still exist. Like, I had a man run up to me and my friend who also has red hair in the street one day, and he was like, "It's a couple of gingers! Hello, gingers!" and ran away. But I was talking to a guy from Ireland recently. He was like, "We have so many redheads there. You gotta come check it out. You fit right in." Actually, have you heard of the Church of God the Mother? Right?